What's up, guys? Hokage Puya here. We're already back. More Asian World Cup qualifying games. The last ones were just 3, 4 weeks ago. And remember, we're 2 games into round 3 Asian World Cup qualifying. And we got another 2 games coming up here. A lot of big matches this time around and a lot at stake so early on into round 3 qualifying for some big teams. And your smaller scale teams who with this expanded 48 team World Cup have a real possibility of going to World Cup 2026 in North America, in the United States, Canada, Mexico. These games are all going to be important for all teams. There's a couple teams that people don't really expect to win any games and get out and challenge for a spot at the World Cup. But for a majority of the teams right now, everything's still open. We're only 2 games in, and we have some big boy matchups coming up this next week. This is going to be my preview video. We're going to go over each group like I do all the time. We're going to go through all the games. We're going to go through the group standings right now. And I'm just going to give my thoughts on the group overall. I'm not going to go through every match and predict each one. We're just going to talk about the main headlines, the bigger context stories here at play in Asian World Cup qualifying. Let's get this preview started, guys. You know how I do it. If you're new to the channel, why is this not? Hold on. I'm an idiot. There's my face. If you're new to the channel, when I do these videos, as you see on the left side of the screen, results/fixtures on the left, how the table stands right now at the bottom. Let's just get into it. Group A here. Now, Group A is a tricky one because the way Qatar have started, it does look like Uzbekistan and Iran are going to be the 2 favorites here to finish 1 and 2 for automatic qualification. And if you just a quick reminder for everyone, top 2 in all 3 groups automatically qualify for the round of for the World Cup 2026, and then the playoffs between the 3rd and 4th place teams will be played. So in total, there is 9 places open for Asian World Cup teams for World Cup 2026. So let's get into it now. Group A. The way things started last time, Qatar only on 1 point after 2 games. It does look like Iran and Uzbekistan are going to be the favorites, even so early on in the group, to get out. Although, let's see what happens in this game. Uzbekistan at home hosting Iran. It's these games for Uzbekistan and Iran that will decide who will get first or second in the group. If I'm going off form for these teams, I really don't know. Both Uzbekistan and Iran looked really strong last time out. The issue I had with Iran a month ago was that their attack just looked stale. They weren't creating a lot of chances, but their defense was strong, and they got 2-1-0 wins. And Uzbekistan just looked like the more dangerous team a month ago. So if I'm to favor a team right now, obviously on paper, Iran's team is probably one of the best in Asia. A guy like you guys taught him, he just got man of the match in a Champions League game for Inter Milan. Uzbekistan doesn't have that kind of firepower in terms of name, but as a team, they're very solid. They had a strong Asia Cup, and they are going to be gunning to be at their first World Cup ever in 2026. I think it's going to be their first World Cup ever in 2026. I can't think of a World Cup where they were qualified before, and that would be huge for them. Obviously, their main challenges for me when we were coming into this group, their main challenges for first and second place were going to be obviously the Asian champions right now, Qatar and the UAE. Now, like I said, Qatar. If the Asian champions don't make it to the World Cup, it's an embarrassment. It makes, strip away Qatar's trophy, because as an Asian, they only got to the last World Cup because they were the freaking host. They automatically qualified. This time around, Qatar, you better qualify, and they have a big home game against Kyrgyzstan. You have to win this one, Qatar. Qatar has to win this home game against Kyrgyzstan. You cannot drop points again. It needs to be 3 points if you want a chance at battling Iran and Uzbekistan for those first or second place spots. So Qatar needs to have a convincing performance against Kyrgyzstan at home here next week. And obviously, the other team that I think can challenge for first and second place is UAE. Now, UAE last time out got 1 win, got 1 loss. I think the loss was to Iran, if I'm not mistaken, Uzbekistan. I'm not remembering fully right now, but they did get the 1 win, 1 loss last time. UAE at home. Again, if they want to challenge Iran and Uzbekistan, at the most, they have to get a win here against North Korea. They cannot draw points. No draws, no losses. You're at home. Your team is better than North Korea's. There's no excuses. The UAE has to beat them. They have to get that 3 points in order to put themselves in a better position further down the line to get into at least the playoff spots. to get to the World Cup 2026. So UAE, they have to win that one. I would predict them to win if I'm for those first three games. If I'm not score predictions, but who I think would win, I think we could very much see Uzbekistan and Iran draw, and I really think Qatar and UAE should get the wins over Kyrgyzstan and North Korea. But obviously, North Korea were very surprising last time out. They got the draw, and I think the draw was to Qatar, right? That's where Qatar got their point as well, which is very embarrassing for Qatar. But yeah, I think North Korea can maybe surprise the UAE here, but unfortunately for North Korea in this time around in these games in October, they have two away games. They're not going to have any home games or anything, so they are going to be at a disadvantage. So maybe their strong start, maybe I say 1 point is a strong start. They're already 5 points behind Iran and Uzbekistan, but for their standards, they weren't even expected to get maybe a point or two in this group. So North Korea, let's see. And obviously, the big boy matchup in this group is the rematch of the Asian Cup semifinal, Iran versus Qatar. Iran at home. The way Qatar's form has been, and depending on how they play against Kyrgyzstan, Iran has to win that game. They have to get their revenge. Usually, when Iran plays Qatar outside of the Asia Cup, they usually mop the floor with them. I mean, at that at that Arab Cup or what the Kafa Cup or whatever it was, Iran mopped the floor with Qatar. And in qualifying, whenever they come up against each other, Iran gets the job done. So I would think Iran at home, the form Mehdi Taremi is in, they should get that win against Qatar, and Uzbekistan against UAE. Now, if UAE gets that win against North Korea, this is a big game for UAE going to Uzbekistan's home. If they could somehow get a draw or even a win, they are all of a sudden putting themselves in a very interesting conversation to potentially challenge Uzbekistan for a top two place. I think the team that's favored, in my opinion, the most to get first or second place is Iran. I do not see any world where Iran does not get first or second place, but I think second, third, and fourth place are all going to be battled for by the UAE, by Qatar, by North Korea, by Kyrgyzstan. Those are all up for grabs. So huge game for Uzbekistan this time around. No easy games here. They're going to have two tough games even though they're at home. And obviously Kyrgyzstan versus North Korea. Kyrgyzstan, I was surprised they got to round three qualifying, and they showed why they were so trash last time. They're not going to do anything in this group. Yes, North Korea is away from home, but if our boys in North Korea want to do anything, North Korea has to get 3 points against Kyrgyzstan. They can't draw. North Korea has to get the win. And yes, the glorious country of North Korea. You guys know me and Kim Jong Un. We go back and look at Kim Jong Un. He's happy. He likes that I'm saying North Korea has a chance. Obviously, Kim, we have to concede. There has to be a middle ground. Obviously, North Korea is not going to be the fit. I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. Yes, guys. Kim, North Korea is the favorites for this group. Yes, they only have 1 point, but it was a super corrupt game, you guys. North Korea is the absolute favorites in this group. They will get first place. They will get first place, guys, and I think they will win each game from now on 5-6-0. And my best friend here, my best friend since childhood, my dear glorious friend Kim Jong Un, has given me everything in life and showered me with love, praise, and giving me everything in life. Kim Jong Un will be happy, and North Korea will be absolutely on top, and they will win every single game from here on out, and they will be in World Cup 2026. So, and they will probably win World Cup 2026. So, North Korea, man, let me. Okay, yeah, North Korea. Kim, good to see you, man. North Korea, watch out for them. But yeah, big games here, big games here in Group A. I was getting nervous. You guys, Kim Jong Un, we are best friends. I did go to his wedding and everything. I was there at the birth of his child, but you guys, sometimes things can get dicey with that guy. So I always have to show my respect to Kim Jong Un. And yeah, guys, the my expectations overall for this group is that I expect that after these two games, Iran will be first place, and I think if there's going to be any surprises here, I think UAE, if they could get the win against North Korea and get that result against Uzbekistan, we might see UAE sneak into second place after these two games. But obviously, the team that's really needs to climb back here in these October games is Qatar. Qatar needs to come and get at least one win. That win needs to be against Kyrgyzstan. And if they want to maybe boost their chances even further, they have to give Iran a very tough game away from home and get a draw maybe. But I think it's really tough to beat Iran at home. They don't usually lose there. It's very tough to win there. So Qatar gonna be aiming for those 4 points. I think they'll get just the win against Kyrgyzstan, and yeah, you have North Korea and Kyrgyzstan battling at the bottom of the dumpster. Um, let's see, North Korea, nothing more on North Korea, but yeah, guys, Group A, that's it. Let's go to Group B now. Look at this. So, like I say every time since the Asia Cup, I love to see it that Jordan is continuing their high octane, high press attacking style of football in Asia. They're taking Asia by storm, and I really want to see them at the World Cup in 2026, battling European teams, South American teams, African teams, all the teams, North American teams with their style of play. I really think they could do damage, but yes, they had a strong start with 4 points. They're tied for first with North Korea, and not North Korea, South Korea. Um, but they have a big, big, big game at home against South Korea. Now, South Korea, they did get 4 points last time, but I wasn't I wasn't blown away by South Korea's performances a month ago. They weren't. They do look better since Jurgen Klinsmann got sacked and they have a South Korean coach. They do look better, but I think Jordan, if they continue the form they've been on at the turn of this year since the start of 2024, Jordan can get a result here. So this is going to be a big game here. South Korea, I'm interested to see, will South Korea try to take the game to Jordan, or will they soak up pressure like Kim Min Jae, organize the back line and try to hit him on the counter with Son, Hwang Yi-chan, Kang In Lee, all these guys. Will they try to counter them? That's going to be an interesting battle here. And yeah, you have Oman, man, having a home game against Kuwait. Kuwait, if they want to give themselves a good chance at getting, I don't think Kuwait has a chance at first or second place. I think Kuwait will be aiming for the playoff spots if they want to, you know, further secure themselves and give them confidence to make those playoff spots. Yes, they're away from home to Oman, but they have to win. They have to win. You can't draw, you can't lose. They have to get a win here to give themselves a good chance at getting to those playoff spots. And obviously, I forgot to put the South Korea game below it, but then you have Palestine. Palestine's first game against Kuwait needs to be a win as well. So listen, Palestine, I don't know if I trust I have belief in Palestine because of, what's going on there and because they had such a strong Asia Cup and they've been playing so well this year. I don't know if I'm feeding into that Disney Plus narrative, but I do think Palestine has a chance here to get into the playoff spots. Obviously, I think in comparison to, Group A and Group B here, I think you have three teams basically that are all equally as strong and can challenge for the top two. Those are Jordan, South Korea, and Iraq. But then you have Kuwait, Palestine, and then either one of Jordan, South Korea, and Iraq who will be battling for those third and fourth places. And I don't know. I think Palestine here, this is do or die for them. I think they need to get this win against Kuwait. They're at home. Yeah, obviously they don't really have a home. You know what I mean? But they're the home team. They have to get a win here. Palestine cannot afford, a draw and a loss again. I think for Palestine, the best case scenario, obviously, is a draw. Is a draw to Iraq away from home and then a win to Kuwait. But if I'm being realistic, I think I could see them getting a win to Kuwait. But then I think Iraq would batter them. Iraq is too strong right now. Hussein and all those guys battering in the goals. I just think it won't be possible. But I think, yeah, Oman really is not going to get any points here away to Jordan, home to Kuwait. I really have no confidence in them. They were really bad last time out. And I think South Korea, let's talk on them a little bit because you have, South Korea. It would be a shock if South Korea did not finish top two. I'm not going to lie. I know Jordan and Iraq are very strong teams, but on paper, South Korea is historically a better team. They've had better players. They have players who play in top clubs for Europe everywhere. Hwang Hee-chan, Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son has 2 Premier League golden boots. South Korea on paper should get top 2 and automatically qualify, but the way Iraq and Jordan have been playing this year, context is key, guys. On paper, yes, South Korea should get first or second place and automatically qualify, but take the context of 2024, and these 2 games can really put South Korea in danger. Now, if I'm to if I'm South Korea going away to home to Jordan, I think you have to win that one because no, I'm sorry, you have to get at least a draw there, but in that home game to Iraq, that's a must win. I understand it's Iraq. I understand they're a very tough team, but South Korea has to get the win there. They have to get the 3 points to further solidify themselves as strong favorites to automatically qualify for World Cup 2026. And obviously, Iraq here having a big game against South Korea. Let's see what happens. I think South Korea should win that game away. They are at home. Let's see if Iraq has any surprises, but absolutely, Iraq has to beat Palestine. No if, buts, and maybes. Needs to be 3 points. So you're seeing here that teams like Jordan has a home game to Oman. Jordan, South Korea, and Iraq all have home games that they absolutely should not lose. South Korea must beat Iraq. South Korea has to beat Iraq at home. Jordan must beat Oman at home, and Iraq must beat Palestine at home. Now, qualifying has been interesting. Surprises happen. So let's see if there's any upsets in those 3 games. But I have a hard time believing those teams at home are going to drop points because they're really gunning for, especially Jordan and Iraq. They are really pushing to get to that World Cup 2026. It would be huge for them, huge for their federation, huge for their country overall. So this is what makes you guys, this is why I love World Cup qualification. The stakes of going to a World Cup. So many of these countries don't go to World Cups consistently, or have only gone to World Cups once. Jordan, I think Iraq has been to one World Cup. Jordan has never been to a World Cup. Yes, on paper, South Korea is historically the better team, but Jordan is fighting for something historical here. Iraq, having probably their best generation in a while, they're fighting for a World Cup spot. Their fans, their country, their people being able to see their team at World Cup will be huge. So this is why I love World Cup qualification, because teams like South Korea, no game is easy for them. And we don't have this matchup now, but I can't wait to see Iraq versus Jordan. I don't think they played each other last time, so I think the next round of games they will play each other. Iraq versus Jordan is going to be a really good game, but that's for the next qualifying games. Let's stick to here. So if I'm gonna predict how I see the league table kind of finishing out after these 2 games, I think we should be seeing South Korea in first, and I think Jordan will be second still. I think Iraq will be third. I think the only change after these games will be South Korea will go to first, Jordan will go to second, Iraq, Kuwait, Palestine, Oman will stay the same. And yeah, Group B. Let's get to the last group, guys. The big boy group of these qualifying. The group we always get: Japan, Saudi Arabia, Australia. But they're besides the big teams, and besides the fact that Australia started off so badly last time out, the big headlines here was Bahrain's win last time out, and Indonesia getting two absolutely massive draws last time out, putting themselves on 2 points, getting points away from the big teams. Now they're able to focus on the Bahrains. Now they're able to focus on China. They're away from home both times, so let's wait and see. So Indonesia is a big talking point here in Group C of round 3 qualifying. Let's start with Australia versus China. Now Australia absolutely must win. China is going to be the team that gets destroyed. A month ago, they were absolutely the worst team. A month ago, they got destroyed. You could see their goal difference, man. -8. 1 goal scored, 9 conceded. Australia, they started off so badly last time. They absolutely need to beat China. And if I want to put faith in Australia again, I want to see them beat China by 4 or 5 goals. Unfortunately for China, it sucks. You made it to round 3. I had some little hope for you guys coming into round 3 qualifying to see if you guys get into the World Cup. But after what I saw last month, I have zero hope for China and Australia. You better not draw points to China. A draw is unacceptable. A win is 100% certain. I'm sure of it. Next game, huge big boy clash, guys. Bahrain versus Indonesia. Now, Bahrain, Indonesia, 2 teams that have not been to a World Cup. This is the time. This is what I was talking about in Group B. 2 teams fighting to get to that World Cup in 2026. And you have a big boy game here, Bahrain versus Indonesia. 2 teams that are going to be fighting to the death for a spot in the playoffs or potentially a spot in the top 2. Now, who would I favor here? I honestly think Indonesia's performances a month ago were super impressive. Yes, they're away from home now. I know that stuff happening in Bahrain. I don't know if Bahrain will be at home or not, but Indonesia, I expect them to win. Indonesia, I gave you guys a real talk last time. I gave you guys tough love. You guys really want to get to this World Cup. You have to win here. You can't, getting to the World Cup now, you can't be happy with, oh, we were away from home. We got a draw. That's good. We'll get the wins at home. No. In these games against the Bahrain's your main competition in round 3, you need to win away from home. And I'm gonna show you guys some more tough love here. Yes, you guys did well to get the 2 draws in big games last time. Now show me that you're serious, Indonesia. Indonesia can show me that they're serious by absolutely rocking up to Bahrain and getting those 3 points, stealing those 3 points away from Bahrain and putting themselves on 5 points at least in this window of games. Indonesia, I would favor them, but you guys, Bahrain got that win last time out. Bahrain, let's see. Now, yes, Bahrain got that 1-0 win last time out and they got smashed. That's why I think Indonesia, the fact that they got a draw against two big teams last time around, I think there's no excuse here for Indonesia. They have to get the win away from home, and that would put them on 5 points and put them on positive goal difference if they get a win. So Indonesia, big first game against Bahrain. And obviously Saudi Arabia, they had a decent start. They will be in the second game at home to Bahrain. I see a win there. And obviously the big game, I think the biggest game here of this whole entire October round of qualifying games, Japan versus Australia, because the reason why Australia versus China is so important for the Aussies is because you have an away game to Japan, a Japan team that scored freaking 12 goals last time. 12 freaking goals. Moriyasu and his Japan team, Kubo, Mitoma, all these guys, Ito. I know Ito just came back from injury for Bayern. All these players, man. Moriyasu, a fantastic coach. Last time out, guys, for Japan, I told you how scary they were. Last time out, Japan put out 2 completely starting 11s and still battered their opponents. Japan absolutely are going to get first place in this group, and that is why Australia, they need to get that win against China, because I am struggling to think of reasons as to why Australia will get a win in Japan. No way. I will tell you right now, Australia will not get a win in Japan. Best scenario for Australia is leaving with 4 points this window and scraping and fighting for a draw away from home in Japan. But Japan, absolutely the top team here. And Japan, I really think away from home to Saudi Arabia, they should get the job done. Saudi, yes, they had 4 points. They have 4 points right now, a win and a draw. But I wasn't impressed with their performances a month ago. And I think Japan is just going to carry on their goal scoring form and absolutely batter Saudi Arabia. And in the final game here, Indonesia again, like Bahrain, the Bahrain game away from home will be tougher. And if you get a draw there, all right, fine. I'll let it slide, Indonesia. But if you're serious, there is zero reason on my mind, no excuse as to why you cannot go to China and score 3-4 goals and get 3 points. So for Indonesia here, the big talking point, Indonesia, 4 points would be would be good. 6 points would be the dream. If you come away with 3 points, let's wait and see how things develop in the group. But if you come away with 3 points, I think now is your time to get to get 3 points from Bahrain. I really think Indonesia has a real shot at 6 points here. And if they get 6 points, they'll be on 8 points in the group. They will put themselves in a fantastic position to at least finish in the playoff spots in this group. So big window for Indonesia here. China, they're going to get smashed again. Australia need to bounce back. Saudi, I just see one win here at home against Bahrain. I'm sorry, even at home, I think they're going to lose to Japan. And Japan, I think, are just going to continue demolishing the teams here in this group. So Indonesia, big games. Australia, bounce back. Japan, going to continue to dominate. And Saudi Arabia need to come away with at least 3 points here to continue being competitive in this group for automatic qualification. So you guys, big games coming up this week. Let's see what happens. I love World Cup qualifying. You guys, honestly, I said it last time, my favorite part of the World Cup is the group stages. And honestly, my second favorite part of this whole process is qualifying. The stories that build up in qualifying, the stories like Indonesia, the stories like Jordan, Palestine having a chance and everything. I like these stories, guys. And it's fun to see them develop throughout the qualifying. Yes, there's always going to be heartbreak, and that's part of football, but there's always going to be great stories, great celebrations. And I really do believe teams like Jordan, Indonesia, Palestine, Kuwait, all these guys, there's a serious Uzbekistan, there's a serious chance to complete their dream of getting to World Cup 2026. And I think this window, yes, it's still very early into round 3 qualifying, but every game matters. Indonesia, every game matters. That's my message to you guys. As an Iranian, as a guy, I'm very experienced in these World Cup qualifications, watching my team win. I'm confident Iran will qualify. Every game matters. Don't think and every game is going to be tough. Even in those games against China in round 3, in group 3, I expect China to get smashed, but the teams, example, Indonesia, you should not pull up expecting to destroy and being cocky against China because anything can happen. So every game you fight to win, every game is important. And the story is just built, guys. That's Asian World Cup qualifying. Next week, the games are going to come into. You're going to post this preview video right now. You guys, if you enjoyed the video, like it for me. Subscribe if you're new. Remember, I'm always going to have that Asian World Cup content for you guys. Every time the games come around, I'll have a preview video for you. And after the games are done, I'll have a review video for you. I keep it real with you guys. Indonesia fans, I have a lot of you guys in my comments. I keep it real with you. I'm showing you tough love because I really believe you guys have a real chance at getting the World Cup 2026. Jordan, I have full belief in you guys. Uzbekistan, real chances here. Love the story, guys, and everything, you guys. It's been your boy Hokage Poo, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's see what happens in these games. I'm excited. See you guys in the next one, guys. Peace.